Kal Halal Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh. Double honors to the apostles and elders over at Great Millstone. And peace and salutation to all you brethren across the four corners. My name is Yaramya. And today's topic was going to be a testament is not a force while the testator liveth. And I'll be briefly going over Hebrews the ninth chapter to edify our brethren, because we still having problems. Well, we're not having problems. The world, everywhere outside the circle of GMS, is now having understanding on the Gentile situation. And I'll just be going in over Hebrews the ninth chapter to explain, through the Spirit, get this Bible basically in a nutshell is a will. What I mean by a will, it means it basically is an inheritance of what the Israelites are to receive from the testator. And you look up the word of testator, it means one who disposed of his property or goods to basically to a family member. But I just, instead of just me roughly paraphrasing, I'm just going to go over it, because you got different definitions for the word will, which is basically like a state of being, but I'm not going into that one. That's not to understand where I'm coming from. When I say will, I'm talking about legally according to a law. So basically what I mean by will mean like an inheritance, like a family will, a trust will, something like that. But basically the law, will, dealing with law, a legal declaration of a person's wishes as to disposition of his or her property or estate after death, usually written and signed by the testator and attested by witnesses. The document contains such a declaration. Okay. With that being said, this particular definition right here is explained right here in the book of Hebrews, the 9th chapter. All right. And I'll be just gonna briefly go over some different scriptures. Then I'm gonna get to the meat of it right here, dealing with this definition right here. Okay. It's going to be Hebrews, the 9th chapter, and it reads, Then verily the first covenant had also ordinance of divine service and worldly sanctuary. For there was a tabernacle made, the first wherein was the candlestick and the table and the showbread, which is called the sanctuary. And after the second veil, the tabernacle, which is called the holiest of all, which had a golden censer, and the ark of the covenant overlaid round about with gold, wherein was the golden pot that had manna, and Aaron's rod that budded in the tables of the covenant, and over it the cherubims of glory shadowing the mercy seat, of which we cannot now speak particularly. Okay. Now when these things were thus ordained, the priest went always into the first tabernacle, accomplishing the service of Yahweh. Okay. And those who know the service of Yahweh was always given to the Levites, the Levitical priesthood. Okay. All right. And we'll briefly get that precept, showing that it was given to the Levites. It's going to be Deuteronomy 10 precept. Deuteronomy 10. I'm going to start at verse 1. Deuteronomy 10th chapter. And at that time the Most High said unto me, Hew thee 2 tables of stone like unto the first, and come up unto me into the mount, and make thee an ark of wood. And I will rise, and I will write on the tables the words that were in the first tables, which thou breakest, and thou shalt put them in the ark. And I made an ark of shittim wood, and hewed 2 tables of stone like unto the first, and went up into the mount, having the 2 tables in my hand. And he wrote all the tables according to the first writing, the 10 commandments. So we all know who the 10 commandments, those were given to the Israelites. Okay. And you had the ones who do the service of the Most High was Levites. Okay. Remember, we'll be going into the will. Okay. Inheritance. First it started off going into the Old Testament. And that's another word synonymous with the word will, testament, or a dispensation, or a covenant. All right, all those words mean the same: covenant, will, dispensation, testament. Okay. And he wrote on the tables of according to the first writing the 10 commandments, which the Most High spake unto you in the mount of the midst of the fire in the day of the assembly, and the Most High gave them unto me. And I turned myself and came down from the mount which put the tables in the ark which I had made, and there they may be as the Most High commanded me. And the children of Israel took their journey from Beeroth of the children of Jaachan to Moserah. Then Aaron died, and there he was buried, and Eleazar his son ministered in the priest's office in his stead. Okay, he's just showing you the Levitical priesthood. Yeah. Written, well, Hebrews 9th chapter stating. So it started off, remember, with the Old Testament. All right, take that in consideration. Those who don't understand, thinking that that somehow the Levitical priesthood changed and then everybody can be priests, all nations. Okay, which that's wrong. All right. 7 verse. But into the second went the high priest alone, once every year, not without blood, which offered for himself and for the errors of the people. Okay, a lot of Israelites plus the nations and 2/3 of our people get that wrong. When they read that, they think well, for those who don't know, it's talking about Yahushua. But people get it wrong, thinking this. Then when he say he talking about the people, they're talking about everyone. He didn't shed his blood for everybody on the planet Earth. Okay, it's talking about the Israelites. All right. But into the second went the high priest alone, once every year, not without blood, which he offered for himself and for the errors of the people. Okay. All right. Okay. The Holy Spirit, this signifying that the way into the holiest of all was not yet made manifest, while as the first tabernacle was yet standing, which was a figure for the time then present, in which were offered both gifts and sacrifices that could not make him that did the service perfect as pertaining to his conscience. Okay, which stood only in meats and drinks and divers washings and carnal ordinances imposed on them until the time of reformation. Okay. Salakia. The 7th verse is not talking about Yahushua. That's talking about the Levitical priesthood. Okay, take that back. Now it's talking about Yahushua in the 11th verse. But the Mashiach, being come and a high priest of good things to come, by a greater and more perfect tabernacle, not made with hands, that is to say, not of this building. Okay, it wasn't after the Levitical priesthood. Okay, it was a shadow, or the Levitical priesthood was a shadow of the hope to come, the great things to come. All right, we'll get that precept. It's gonna be Hebrews 7:11. If therefore perfection were by the Levitical priesthood, all right, for under it the people received the law. Okay, when it's talking about the law, it's talking about the what they call the law of Moses, but Moses got that law from Yahweh. Okay, was further need was there that another priest should rise after the order of Melchizedek or Malach Tazadok, okay, which means the king or the messenger of righteousness, and not be called after the order of Aaron. Okay. Okay. For the priesthood being changed, it was changed. Okay. There is made of necessity a change also of the law. For he of whom these things are spoken pertaineth to another tribe, of which no man have attendance at the altar. Okay. For it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah, of which tribe Moses spake nothing concerning priesthood. Okay, he changed the law. So now, instead of the law being just upon the Levites only, now the whole nation can do the priesthood, and it's a prophecy. Now we all allowed to do it. That's why you see us bearing the name Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah at the altar. It's a place where you perform the sacrifice. It's out on the highways and byways, making our bodies a living sacrifice. So Yahweh Shah changed the priesthood to where now the whole 12 tribes can perform. Okay, perform the service of the Most High. Okay, it's gonna be 1 Peter 2:5 to prove that. 1 Peter 2:5. Ye also, as lively stones, are built up a spiritual house, okay, a holy priesthood to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to the Most High by Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. Read that again. 1 Peter 2:5. Ye also, as lively stones, okay, are built up a spiritual house and holy priesthood to offer up spiritual sacrifices. Okay, so this priesthood right here is spiritual. Okay, acceptable to Yahweh by Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. Okay, he's gonna further prove that it's spiritual later on as I read. Okay, all right. Read Hebrews 9:11 again. But the Mashiach, being come and high priest of good things to come, by a greater and more perfect tabernacle. That's the one we're reading about, that spiritual sacrifice, that spiritual house, that spiritual tabernacle, not made with hands, but is to say, not of this building. Okay. Neither by the blood of goats and calves, but by his own blood he entered in once into the holy place, having obtained eternal redemption for us. Okay, who is the us? All right, because you Christians and 2/3 of Israel, as well as Israelites who don't understand the Gentiles, will say that's talking about everybody. Okay, but we're gonna prove that it's not by that word redemption, because the word redemption means to buy back. Who was bought back? Okay, who was bought back with this blood? Neither by the blood of goats and calves, but by his own blood. Who was bought back with that blood? Galatians 4:4. Same thing. But when the fullness of time was come, the Most High sent forth his Son, made of a woman, made under the law, to redeem them that were under the law, that we might receive the adoption of sons. Okay? Who was under the law? And which law is it talking about? The same law that we read way back in Deuteronomy. But the Levitical priesthood and all the services and everything that goes along with that. It's talking about the law of Moses, which Moses got that law from Yahweh, the Most High. Okay? Okay. For if the blood of bulls, okay, it's the 13th verse. For if the blood of bulls and of goats and the ashes of heifers sprinkling the unclean sanctify to the purifying of the flesh, how much more shall the blood of the Mashiach, who through the eternal Spirit offered up himself without spot, okay, to the Most High, to purge your conscience from dead works to serving the living power. Okay, so all that sacrificing all people was doing back then was in vain. All right, it was for nothing, because it was carnal. Because our people we wasn't even doing it right. They was doing premeditated sacrifices where they would be premeditated on doing sin, then have a goat or a heifer or anything on standby to redeem them for their sin at the time. Okay, but the Most High didn't want that. All right, he wanted us to be spiritual, not walk after being carnal. Okay. 15th verse. And for this cause he is the mediator. Okay, what is a mediator? It's an in-between guy. Okay, That's Yahweh Shah. He's the mediator. Matter of fact, look up the word mediator in that scripture. Just Hebrews 9:15. Just to get a better understanding of what the word mediator means. 9. Mediator. Strong's G 3316. Misitasi. And it says, one who intervenes between two, either in order to make or restore peace and friendship, or form a compact, or for ratifying a covenant. A medium of communication, arbitrator. Okay? That's what Yahweh, that's describing Yahweh Shah, the mediator between us and the Most High. Okay? Not all nations. Okay? Let's go back to it again. And for this cause, he is the mediator of a New Testament. Okay, the New Testament. Okay. Who's the New Testament speaking of? Get Hebrews 8:8. For finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, when I will make a new covenant. It's that new covenant, same thing in Hebrews 9th chapter. I just went to Hebrews 8:8. A new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. That's who your new covenant is right there. Okay, the new agreement, New Testament, that will, that inheritance is going to be with the house of Israel and the house of Judah. Okay? And for this cause, he is the mediator of the New Testament, that by means of death, for the redemption of transgressions. Okay, what is transgression? Okay. It's talking about transgression of the law, which their law was given to Israel. Let me get into that. It's going to be